Hey, mate, how you doing?
Mate, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be up front. I'm I'm at the end of my tether vis-a-vis the 28th of June. This I'm just going to flag it. I'm going to forecast it. I'm going to signpost it for the listener. We're looking at a 38-minute pod. So when I pull that bitch sub 40, don't be sliding into my DMs with shit talk, because whilst I don't like to start the pod on a whinging note, I've had a good day, but a long day, and I'm pretty fucking knackered, TK. I'm pretty knackered, and I don't think there's any point me sitting here talking to the little bro across the ditch, right? Which is not typically what that euphemism is used for. And lying about my state of energy. It's not high, mate. I'm not high octane.
Has anything particularly bad happened to you today? Because it's from the start, it sounded like this was one of the worst days of your life thus far.
Not at all. I'll fill the listeners in. I rose. I went for a walk. I came home. I did some personal admin, some bits and pieces. I then met up with my friend Ailey because we were filming. We'd been asked to go and do a review of this really cool little cocktail bar just around the corner from me. They'd asked
Is this Lennox?
if I could come in. Sorry?
Is this Lennox?
Not Lennox. No, that's happening, I think, next week. But this cool cocktail bar called Luna had messaged me. The owner had messaged me a week ago and said, we're doing a summer cocktail, a new summer cocktail menu, and we're pairing it with these 3 different bags of crisps, each of which have had their flavor based on a pot noodle. So what they did was they sort of deconstructed. They did a bit of Chinese reverse engineering, TK, whereby they bought a bunch of pot noodles, looked at the ingredients list, made up their own sort of spice blends, bought some Tyrrell's packets of crisps, and then have sort of tossed the ready salted in the sorry to gesticulate like that with a thrust, but just toss that in the sort of spice blends. And so they're serving that. So you get 3 packets with a jar of pickles, couple of cocktails, a pickleback shot. So it's a big sort of thing they're doing.
Where do you stand on the pickleback shot? Because I'm someone who I feel like I love pickle juice, I love whiskey. I just don't think the two go particularly well together. And just a quick caveat, I also don't really like martinis, Jack, and I feel like I'm supposed to like them, but I just can't get around them. If I was ever going to have one, I'd have a dry gin with a twist. The whole mixing of that briny kind of juice with alcohol doesn't really sit well with me.
We'll get to my thoughts on martinis because it's coming up, and I want to keep this to chronology. But thank you for the prompt. So the pickleback in question, TK, was a tequila shot. It was quite a high end tequila. And the pickle brine that I was served, because it's a sort of swanky cocktail bar, think maybe Sammy, but like nowhere near that high end. You know what I mean? Like it's a date spot, but it's a neighborhood cocktail bar, you know? So a cocktail bar. I don't know why I needed to use maybe Sammy as a reference point. But the pickle
friendly
juice
neighborhood
was
cocktail bar.
Correct. Your friendly neighborhood pedophile. No, / cocktail bar. So pickle juice was orange, I think like orange and rosemary infused. So they're doing bits, you know. It's elevated pickle juice. Anyway, so basically what happened was the cocktail, they'd asked if I could come in. I, for the context for the listeners, I'm doing a few weekend shifts at a sort of bar, restaurant, hospitality venue just down the road from me.
Would you call it a resto bar?
I'd call it a resto bar. Yes, I would. I'm on the floor. I'm charming the old boys. I'm charming the gals. I'm raking in the tips. I'm doing all that sort of thing on a Saturday, Sunday.
You're charming the pants off of everyone. For the love of God, could you get off the floor?
For the love of God, you don't work here. Yeah, exactly. No, anyway, so I've been doing a couple of casual shifts, and I had one today at 3:00. The cocktail bar opened at 2. Now, as much as I was invited, I wasn't invited to come outside of hours. Like, it wasn't that sort of invitation. So I said, listen, I'll get there at 2. Ailey and I'll do the video. We'll sit there. We'll have a few Now, they ended up, TK, serving. I had an hour, basically, is the point. I had 45 minutes to get from there, do the thing, get back to my flat, which is 2-minute walk away, and then get to the resto bar. So I thought I'll have a sip of each cocktail. You know what I mean? I won't go crazy. I've got to work a shift. I'm a working man. It didn't quite go like that. I thought I can't. As much as I love a cocktail, and you know I love both cock and tail, I can't start my drinking with a cocktail, even if it's performative drinking for a video. You know that my first drink has to be a beer off the wood. It has to be, and it has to be dry and crisp and no frills. So I sat down and I ordered a pint of Tennent's before anything else had happened. That came out frosty as all get out. Ailey and I ordered a few cocktails. They brought the crisps. So I ended up having my pint of Tennent's, both of my cocktails, my pickleback shot, and probably half of Ailey's cocktails as well, because I was supposed to try them for the video. So I ended up having quite a bit of alcohol inside 40 minutes and then stumbling down to the resto bar to do a shift. So
were those crisps the only substance you actually consumed during that time with all that alcohol?
They were, mate. They were. And I can't stress it. I said 40 minutes. Really, the drinking time point to point was probably 25 minutes for, let's call it for me, 3 cocktails, a pickleback shot, and a pint of beer. All right. Wow. I felt good, though. Felt good. The sun was out. It was suns out, buns out stuff, baby. I nipped. I didn't have my bun out. I just thought that would be a bit much, given I was doing a crisp review.
But when you stroll into the resto bar as well, you know, stumbling.
Hey buddy, I reckon you could bump your gain up one more.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, just because you've got such a gentle, soft voice.
Yeah, it is just gentle and soft. And sorry everyone for not having my microphone turned on last week.
If you're going to be that close, you could probably take it down half a notch if you're going to be that close. I'm just looking at the read as it comes through. Sorry for being Mr. Panickety. Shout out to Mr. Men and its side characters. So TK, when I stumbled into the resto bar.
Sorry. They changed his name to Mr. Fussy as it got on, I think, because they wanted to dumb it down for some of the stupider children.
Yes, the Americans. Now, I went down to the resto bar, and it was 3:00 at that point, and I had a snooze / zin, whatever your choice is of choice phrase. I had a couple of Diet Cokes. And a few pints of water, and I was off. I was raring. I was ready to go. There was no problem there. But I may or may not have, and I don't know if I should be saying this on the pod, but I think it'll be okay. I may have, at the back end of my shift, let's say the end of my shift, sampled a martini that someone had made me, and it was the first I'd ever had. I have to admit, I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think I've actually ever had a martini in my life. I liked it. I wouldn't sit down and suck on them till the cows come home, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a gin.
Gin. Was it dirty?
It wasn't dirty. Had the lemon twist though, but no dirtiness, no olive.
So that's stuff, how I was saying, like that. That is the only way I will enjoy it, and it doesn't shock me that you enjoy it like that as well, because you like gin, and it's basically just the flavor of gin with a little bit of a vermouth. That's all it is. But if you get, probably my worst nightmare is a vodka dirty, which is vodka with olive brine.
Yeah, wouldn't be for me, the vodka dirty. If you're going to put it in front of me, I'll whatever. But it's not my...
You'll shelve it.
I'll stick it up me, do it. Yeah. But yeah, Teague. So that was... It then, I didn't end up clocking off until just after 11. So in the end, you know what it's like when you get a little day drunk. Shout out to Who sings that song? It's not Morgan Wallen, but it's someone with a Morgan in their name, I think.
It's not. It's not Flow Rider.
No. I could sing a little bit for you if you want. Get a little day drunk, party with no clothes on.
Yeah. You know why I'm thinking of Flow Rider? Because he's got a song that sounds exactly the same that goes, "Welcome to my house. We don't have to go."
And I was right on the Morgan of it all. It's Morgan Evans. I think he might be Australian. I reckon. Fuck, I'm good. He's Australian, and he's the guy who went viral on that podcast recently in Nashville because he did that really, really hard to sing, like vocally with your air, your lungs. It's breath control. It's a hard song to sing. That Garth Brooks song, the one's like the lyrics aren't hard because it's obviously just gibberish. The country,
mate, you've got me. I want to check that song out.
He went viral because everyone went, "Oh my god, Morgan Evans has had a stroke live on air." But it's a good song. I didn't realize he was responsible for getting a little day drunk. But there you go. My point being that,
nor did I.
Well, you didn't even know what the song was, but the point being that your energy levels can oscillate aggressively when you've consumed the devil's piss early in the going, and then had to get on with your day with a degree of professionalism. So that's why I sit here a little lackluster, TK, with promises. With premonitions of, cut short podcasts cut down in their prime. But how are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm a little dusty Springfield this morning. I'm just sitting in down the back here in the room which this podcast was born. If you consider Bird Like to Be Carnage, not a bad little spot with the door open. Let me tell you. Let me tell you that right now.
As far as spots with doors open are concerned, it's up there for sure. It's in the pantheon. And I certainly get. I feel nostalgic. I feel a certain Proustian wave rush through my loins as I look and see that sort of off-white creamish set of cupboards behind you, TK. I think, God, from where doth my youth lie? Yes, it was good times.
Our backgrounds sort of match each other today. It's the sort of cupboard theme has been, it's consistent throughout.
Well, it's a background that appears designed, although it's not. It's a background that looks like it's been architected. Again, no.
This is a set. It's been made
Correct.
to look like, well, when you see podcasts where they're sitting, it's kind of made to look like a living room. Yeah.
Yes, I do know what you mean.
It's been made to look like a small side room in a shed. Because that's the sort of
It's been made to look like that. Yes, it has. Buddy, can I tell you about my life admin that I've been wrestling with this past week?
Please. Don't hold anything back.
Well, listen, I think any Aussie who has up and moved abroad will have gone through what I'm about to, what I'm about to run you through, TK, the pain, the frustration, the pure admonishment, which is that I have on my phone my banking apps, my social media. TK, can I be a little dramatic? My life is on my phone. And you say I can't get started without my morning coffee. I can't really do much without the old Pahone. I am attached to the thing, as most of us are these days, for our general life admin. Now, when I moved here, I was operating on an iPhone 13 that was a little old. It was getting on. It was long in the tooth, TK, to tell you the truth. And it had everything logged in on it. So I didn't need to worry about two-factor authentication or any of that jazz, any of that jizz. I did a couple of weeks ago purchase a new iPhone. I was well overdue. Now, that meant that I was not logged into any of my applications, which the most important of which are my bank accounts, the financial institutions, TK, through which I bank. So what I did when I left Australia was I cancelled every plan that I had, basically, one of which was my phone plan. Now, I kept that phone plan. I switched it over to a prepaid SIM so that I still have I've kept my Australian number, but it's not really operational. I pay like $10 a month for it or some shit. Now, just to keep it. Now, I have a UK SIM in. I went on here and I basically tried to get access to my bank accounts and I wasn't able to. Right, because it was saying we've sent an SMS to your Australian phone number, put in the code we sent you, and then you can get into the accounts, right? And I'm going, I can't get into my Australian phone number because it doesn't work over here, right? Because I had roaming switched on, I took my UK SIM out, I put my Australian SIM in. It was a whole fucking Olympics, mate. It was a whole roller coaster, and it wasn't working, right? So I needed to engage customer support. Right, which is not a place anyone ever wants to be in their life, needing to lean on the customer support infrastructure of a telecommunication giant. But that was the place in which I found myself, TK. And the only way to do that, because I can't call overseas numbers on my UK SIM, was to go online to the chat room. So I did, sorry to use jazz hands this early in the pod. So I did that. Right. And I wanted to read you some of the exchanges that preceded my engagement with said chatbot. So when you go on, TK, it says to you, it basically says, hi, what's your name? What's your date of birth? And you're just talking to AI. And then eventually it puts you through to an agent, right? Now,
and then at this point, you're definitely talking to an actual person.
At this point, you're clearly talking to a person. But I don't know, how au fait you are, Teeks, with customer service generally. Whether it's a bank, whether it's a telecommunications provider, they are typically incredibly impersonal. They are sticking to a script. They are not getting emotional. There is very little room for je ne sais quoi, for pizzazz, for personality, for charisma. There's none of that at all.
Can I say that there wouldn't be any man more qualified to talk on this topic, because I feel as if you are always on the phone to customer service people. I maybe once, twice a year, I feel like you are always, like, at any given point in time, you are on hold talking to some customer service person from some telecommunications provider or something of that, in that realm. And you're always frustrated with them. You're always telling me you're going to light them up. And I'm not sure what it is about you that means you're always always having those conversations. But
well, TK, I like to get in two before breakfast. That's my rule when it comes to conversations with customer service reps. Look, I have my personal life, and then we've had the business stuff. So I've had oftentimes 6 or 7 things operating. Often, whatever household I'm in, I take on the lion's share of the kind of admin duties as well. So that can mean your rent, talking to your agent, talking to your landlord, talking to your amenities providers, etc. And I don't like to get a raw deal. So that's why I'm often on the blower, TK, is because a lot of people will just go, whatever, they fucked us over with this thing.
Roll over.
Roll over and stick one up me. No. You ain't sticking anything up me, son. Right?
Roll over and stick one up me.
Yeah.
You want them to roll over?
Get up, and then you got to get up pretty. You got to get up pretty early in the morning to roll me over and stick one up me in that order. So and let me tell you, Priyanka got up early in the morning on this particular morning. So I get put through to an agent by the name of Priyanka. I hope that he or she won't mind me saying their name. Sounds feminine, but I don't want to. I don't want to make.
Why don't you do a little Google and see what gender that usually belongs to? Not to be one of those, gendered name people.
Priyanka is a popular feminine given name of Sanskrit origin. It primarily translates to beloved, beautiful, lovable, amiable. Now,
I got all of that, to be fair. I see what you mean. It does sound feminine, doesn't it?
Well, to be honest, exactly. If you play this podcast in reverse, you'd go, he said the things in the opposite order to what I thought them. So yes, Priyanka, a classic feminine name of South Asian origin. Now, I'm on the chat line with her. He or she. You got to leave room for a possible transition. So let's go with she. Okay, yeah. Let's just rule out other permutations for now. I am on the chat with her, and it's very classically impersonal at this point. It's name, date of birth, what's your qualm, here's how I'm going to ameliorate the situation. Let me talk to my supervisor. Sorry, my supervisor's busy. Could bear with me a moment. Do you need me to call you back? Don't fucking no. You're not calling me back. I am sitting here till this is anyway. That sort of stuff. Then Priyanka, thinking that she has solved the issue, TK, thinking that, and I'm going to use the word a second time, thinking that my issues have been ameliorated, she says to me, basically, I want you to wait 10 to 15 minutes, right? A classic amount of time that these people give you. Wait 10 to 15 minutes, turn your phone off, turn your phone back on again, and it should be sweet. I've said to her, great, but I'm staying on the chat line on my laptop, right? I'm keeping this communication open, right? I feel like her and I are in couples counseling, and I'm saying we need to talk more. And here I am, baby. I'm ready. I'm open, right? Not open in that way, right? I haven't had
over and stick one up me.
Well, no, not open in the sense that I'm on the jungle juice, but So I've said to her, okay, thank you. I will wait 10 to 15 minutes, as you've said, and if it hasn't worked, I will check back in. Assuming that's what you call an impasse, TK. We both take a hiatus. We've reached as far as we can go in this communication for now until an update's provided at my end that it has or hasn't worked. Which is where Priyanka hits me with this. Sure. How is the weather in Scotland now? Excuse me? I beg your pardon. You've put me on a forced 10 to 15 minute hiatus, and now you're gonna hit me with a little bit of weather based small talk. Priyanka, what are we doing? At this stage, here?
Do you go, wow, okay, bit of a personal touch, bit of small talk, bit of effort. Wow, how interesting. I like it. Is that what you're thinking? Because that's probably what I would have been thinking.
Well, much like any audience member, TK, when Jake the Peg first walked onto the stage donning a third leg, I was caught off guard. I went, goodness. Sporting a third leg, I should say. Goodness, that's unusual. That's unlike your type. And by your type, I mean people who work in customer service. I just want to make that very clear that that's what I mean by that. Who are all typically now then at that point, TK. Well, who are all typically very impersonal. They don't usually go for that sort of thing. Yeah. Now at that point, I respond. You know what? I've got options here. I could lean away. I could lean in. You know, I'm a lean in guy, brah. I'm a lean in guy. I go, whatever. I've got to wait 10 to 15 minutes. We might as well pass it with pleasantries. I say, it's a lovely day today, comma, very sunny, exclamation mark. You know I don't use that often.
I know, but you've come back with when you sent me the screenshot of that, my first thought was, I'm like, you paused for a second, gone, what the fuck? And then you've gone, yeah, I'm going to lean in here. And I'm going to lean all the way in with a bit of silliness, a bit of an exclamation mark. Because for you, I think an exclamation mark is a bit silly.
It's ridiculous. My first thought was, I feel like if I had read this message, I would never have believed I sent it unless I saw my fingers typing it. It sounds like the sort of message Judd would send.
Yeah. Read it out to me again.
It's a lovely day today, comma, very sunny, exclamation mark. Now, at that point, I go, well, that was a brief little sojourn into a little bit of informality. We were speaking
it still
French,
feels
and
like that you're trying to you're still trying to you're leaning in, but you're trying to end the conversation there as well. It's quite succinct.
Note that I don't follow up, TK. I don't follow up with an elevated question of "and you, how is yours?" So we're speaking French and she's speaking with tu, but I'm sticking with the. Okay, I'm still keeping this pretty formal but polite, right? But I don't want to know how the weather is wherever she is, and I certainly don't want to make any assumptions as to where she might be. Now, I assume that's the end of it, though. Lo and behold, she hits me back with this little dirty paragraph, this little too long didn't read. It is a big dream of mine to travel to Europe and explore its beautiful countryside. I really look forward to the day I am fortunate enough to see all that breathtaking natural scenery with my own eyes. Now, it's at this point that I go, Priyanka, what? Well, am I still talking to Priyanka, or has Priyanka's zesty little gay half brother taken over the chat? What's happening? Why
it's so colourfully worded.
Well, it's just bizarre, TK, and it does. Listen, it has a tinge of obviously a competent English speaker, but it's got a little touch of ESL about it, a touch of ESL, just in the way that
it's gone in too hard.
It's gone in very hard. There's an accent to the consonants that you can sort of punch. And
there's a lot of adjectives.
Yes, and no contractions. It is a big dream of mine, the day I am fortunate enough to see all of that breathtaking beauty, natural scenery with my own, it's unusual. Okay, put it that way. Here's where I go, TK. Again, can I quote Robert Frost to you? Can I? Something about two roads. I took the road less traveled, and that made all the difference, TK. And what I was looking to do at this point in time, given my ongoing frustration at the fact that my Australian phone number was not receiving SMSs, was I wanted to make all the difference, if that difference meant getting my fucking phone to work. So I responded, "You should definitely do that, Priyanka. It's a privilege to be able to travel and live abroad, semicolon, not one I take lightly." Now, at this point, we're very much.
Are you chuckling to yourself when you're writing this, or are you actually? You're 100% in. Are you fully serious writing this?
Oh, I can't be. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's a privilege. I mean, I'm not wrong. Like, it is a privilege to be able to travel and live abroad, and it's not one that I take lightly. But when I start dropping semicolons on this poor woman willy nilly, that's when you got to look yourself in the eye and go, Jack, what are you doing here, buddy? Like, what are we doing at this point? TK, can I point out that it's fast approaching the 15-minute mark? We passed the 10-minute mark that I was waiting to see if my phone worked. And we're into the 15. Now, I think at that point, as much as I've lent in with a longer response than the previous one to the weather, I still haven't said, I haven't asked her a question. I've not really engaged in a back and forth, in a discourse. I've still kind of kept it there. Let's just make sure my phone works. Which is when Priyanka responds, not getting the message, responds, "That is so true. But I feel a little nervous about traveling by myself. I just want to remind the listener, we're talking to the Vodafone customer service rep who is supposed to be fixing my data roaming. That's the point of this message. I'll start it again. That is so true. But I feel a little nervous about traveling by myself. Since I have never been abroad alone before, the idea of doing it solo feels a bit intimidating, even though I really want to go." Fix my data roaming. Do you need me to put it a different way? fix my data roaming. What are you I'm going to read it again, TK. That is so true, but I feel a little nervous about traveling by myself since I have never been abroad before. Why are you telling me personal, intimate details about your history, about your life? The idea of doing it solo feels a bit intimidating, even though I really want to go. Now, I respond with this. Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
Stop. I was thinking for sure this time, sorry. For sure this time you're going to come back with a, hey, Priyanka, can you just fix my data, thanks? Like just... Where are you from?
I'm in too deep. At this point, I'm in too deep.
If you don't mind me asking.
That's when you know that I've lost the fucking plot. Because why would she mind me asking? Like, as if, how is that a person? We're talking about Scotland, which is not where I hail from, but it's where I'm from at this present moment. Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? Not at all, full stop. New message. I am from India, full stop. To which I respond, shock me. No. To which I respond, I'd love to... I've never been. I'd love to visit. Now, as soon as I sent it, I went, that sounds like I want to visit her. I don't. I want to go to India, the country. But the way I've said it, I've never been. I'd love to visit. Sounds a little bit like...
I don't think it does. I don't think it sounds like you want to visit her.
Well, good. Because she responds with this. You are most welcome, smiley face.
Oh, does she mean into her house or into her royal house?
I don't know, TK. I don't know who Priyanka is at all. I have no idea. I just know that she's probably a woman and that she's from India. I just needed her to fix my roaming. To which now this is where I go. It was that point where I felt I'd crossed a line, where I felt I had invited myself into her house, and in doing so had somehow overstayed my welcome prematurely. And I said, I should mention there's been no change in the SIM connection. I'm still not getting any bars, and I have turned the phone on and off.
I should mention, just as it was a side note, so sorry to veer away from our friendship we're building here, but I should mention that my data's still not working.
Which is where, TK, and this is where I think all the hard graft probably comes to a head. This is where you really do reap what you sow. You taste the fruits of your labor, TK. And that's when Priyanka, noticing my frustration, but also tipping her cap to our budding friendship, to the time I've spent in the saddle getting to know her, responds with this paragraph. I want to let you know that I have officially raised the request for you, ! Right now, we just need a quick approval from my senior team leader to finalize everything. They are tied up in a brief meeting at the moment, but please rest assured that I am tracking this closely and will do my absolute best to get your service up and running as fast as possible. Now,
wow,
she follows that with this. Jack, full stop. I want to personally take full responsibility for getting this sorted for you, comma. So please do not worry about a thing. There is no need for you to sit and wait around on the chat right now. Once your number is fully active, we will send you a notification immediately. Please feel free to check back in with us in just a little while, and I will ensure this is completely resolved for you.
Holy shit.
At that point, TK, I go, roll the red carpet out, get your spit polish out. They've got me on the royalty list. Priyanka knows where her bread is goddamn buttered, and it's buttered. It's buttered from my knife, baby, right? This issue is going to be resolved, and it is going to be resolved today. It's about 3 o'clock at this point. I go down to do a shift. I come back at 11 o'clock, still wasn't working. So Priyanka, it turns out, was full of fucking shit. Priyanka was
you fucking liar.
She was all smoke, no fire, right? She was all bark, no bite, and I got I subsequently got on a new chat with a woman named Kath who, through no fault of her own, got absolutely fucking blasted at midnight by a very, very angry Jack Carney. I was belligerent, to say the least, TK. I tore her a proverbial new one, and Kath basically was like, "Whoa, steady on there, bro. I'll fix this for you. What's going?" And I go, "No, because she was like, "Oh yeah, just send me this and send me this." I said, "I'm not going back and forth with you, Kath. I've sat and been honey-dicked and edged by a woman named Priyanka, who I thought I was going to go visit, right, for 7 hours." And I've come back, and she assured me the task that she assured me would be completed, right, is not complete. I've got balls as blue as a berry, and Priyanka is gone from that chat and nowhere to be seen. So here's my details, Kath. Here's my date of birth. Here's my number. Here's what I need done. And don't get back to me until it's sorted. Kath had it sorted inside like 3 minutes. Apparently, it was the simplest thing ever.
So Priyanka just sucked at her job.
Priyanka's useless. Priyanka has got her head in the clouds. She's thinking about the weather in faraway lands. She's thinking about how if she had the gumption, TK, if she had the balls, the stones to pack a rucksack and get on a plane, she could be living the nomad lifestyle. But she's too cowardly to follow through, and so instead she feasts on vulnerable young men in chat rooms, right? A la chat roulette, right? She was probably one of those people jacking it in chat roulette in 2011, right? And she goes, I see a vulnerable young man. I'm going to make him pour his heart out, and I'm going to assure him that I will take full responsibility for assuaging his qualm, and I'll placate shit. I won't do shit. That's her thing. That she's probably gone off into the next room and just orgasmed, and that was the end of that thing.
See, here's my question for you. I've forgotten her name, Priyanka?
I'll never forget that bitch's name. It was Priyanka. And I'm sorry to use the misogynistic B word, but it's reserved for her and her alone.
Priyanka, Jack, do you think she does this with every customer? Or do you think you're special here? Because she made you feel special with that language that made you sound like you were elevated to some sort of special, accelerated kind of pipeline, like when they do accelerated maths at in high school. It was like you had been put in front of everybody else, and you felt safe. You went to work thinking, my phone's going to be fixed. I've made a new friend, and they are completely and utterly dedicated to me. And then you came home and it wasn't fixed. Do you think she does this with everybody?
Priyanka made me feel, TK, like she was in the market for a monogamous one and done type situation. Like she was looking for the real deal, TK. Farmer wants a wife. Customer service rep wants a hubby. And it turns out she's a fuckboy. That's the situation. She just wanted to get a couple of notches on her belt, and she wanted to see if she could get one in before knockoff, and she got one. But I hope it feels dirty.
At what cost?
At what cost? At what cost?
At the cost of your respect. At the cost of your dignity, and perhaps at the cost of someone else's as well that we don't even know about.
We don't know how many blokes she digitally
in a day.
Well, I was going to say digitally gobbied, but like we don't know how many unsuspecting blokes she worked over that day. We don't know. We don't know anything about Priyanka. We don't even know if she's Indian. We don't even know if she's a woman, mate. This could be a classic catfish situation.
Well, when you posted those first two messages on your story, Dad's theory was that it was AI, and I was like,
mate, AI wouldn't do that to you. AI, it would take the human heart to be so cruel, TK. Which I think I could be wrong.
Expression.
I think that's from Othello. No, it's not. It would take the touch of a human, TK, to betray the soul so unjustly.
That was an incredible story. That was an incredible
Thank you,
story.
mate.
Incredible. I had a bit of phone trouble myself a week or two ago. I had to get my battery. My battery was bulging in my phone. The phone was like on the back. It was literally, I couldn't put my case just wasn't going on my phone. And I was like, oh, this is weird. I couldn't work out why. It just wasn't sitting on properly. It's because the back of the phone was literally bulging out the back like that. It was like swelling. And so, and then the battery just started dying on like 20%, or like every time I turn it on, it would just die. So I had to go and drop $350 on a new back of the phone, a new battery, and a new case. But, worth it. Better than getting it feels like a new phone now. It's better than getting paying $2,000 on a new phone. So that happened. It wasn't at the it was in Marrickville on Illawarra Road at this place called Fix Pod, I think. That is an ad. Go to Fix Pod if you need anything fixed. Not the place that you recommended to Bert with the very charismatic, very small Indian man. Very skinny, very charismatic Indian man. Shout out to, I'm not sure what pod that was, but we did a whole rundown of his business.
We did. He's a dodgy fellow. Just be careful about where you do and don't flag things as ads. I put up a little video on my Insta and on my TikTok the other day, just talking about this independent print magazine that sent me a copy of their mag to read, and they didn't ask me to do anything with it, but it's a beautiful project. They wouldn't be making any money out of it, but it's a really nice thing. I made this little video talking about it, sharing some things I liked about it, put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok. Some fucking neckbeard on TikTok commented this. I just need to read this out to you. And listen, he's probably right, but this is a great example of when being right doesn't necessarily not make you a loser. Let's see. He's commented, in case you're unaware, this video counts as an hashtag ad under UK advertising guidelines, in brackets, since you were sent it for free, the magazine itself counts as the incentive to create content. I would suggest searching for the ASA guidelines for influencers for more information. Prayer hands. Bro. Dude. Just hooking my AirPods up. Hang on. Dude, can I be honest?
Got me. The prayer hands
Can I give you some advice? You need to get a root. Like, what are we talking about? Oh, this counts as an ad because they sent me a print magazine, one copy of a print magazine, and didn't ask me to do anything with it. I hear what you're saying, and I'm sure that there is some misleading and deceptive commercial practice that needs the steady eye of the ratifying man and or woman to keep us all in check. I don't think this is the hill, brother. I don't think this is the hill to seppuku yourself on. And he didn't go on and on about it. And I have taken TK to being very amiable on online. If anyone ever challenges on anything in recent times, I just responded with, thanks for that, mate. I wasn't aware. I'm not taking it down, though, and putting it up again with a hashtag ad underneath. Like, you can sit on it and twist if you think I'm doing that. But, yeah, just be careful what you say as a hashtag ad. For example,
it's funny that he's framed that as he's framed that as him looking out for you, but obviously he has some issue with it. Otherwise, he wouldn't be commenting, or he just wants
exactly
he
right
knows about this.
It's very well, actually.
Was he an influencer himself?
No, he wasn't. He was just some neckbeard. But like it's annoying because I did a sandwich vid of this really cool Sri Lankan joint down the road yesterday. It's one dude owns and operates the whole shop. He's busting his fucking cunt in there. Like, he is working his ass off. The product's great. It's a really great. It's a great place. And I went in there, told him what I was doing. I was like, hey man, like Charlie wasn't with me, so I had to do a little bit more foreplay of like, mind if I film myself eating stuff? And he was like, oh, I think I've seen you. Looked up some stuff, and then I was like, yeah, so I'm just trying some food, make a video, promote a local business. And he was like, cool man. So I order the food, and then I try to pay. I pull out some cash, and he goes, no man, I'm not charging you. Like, I appreciate you like promoting the business and stuff. And I was like, oh no, like let me pay man. Like, I always try to pay. No, he refused. I didn't do the thing I did at the previous sandwich shop where I big disclosed that they'd given us the food for free, because I'm like, I want to be transparent about that. But if some fucking nerd's going to be like, you need to frame this as an ad now because someone gave you a free sanger and wouldn't let you pay, I'm like, nah, fuck, I just won't mention it then. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah. There you go. There's an update for you on the ad state of things.
Yeah, but I don't think that they'll mind though. Like, they weren't giving it to you for free so that you would say that it was for free, because that would be.
No, it wouldn't.
Probably don't want you to say that.
No, they wouldn't want me to say that. The only person who wants that to be known is me, just because then there's a transparency there. It's just like, just so you guys know, like you know. But hey, what fucking ever, man. I'm not an actual fucking food critic. Who gives a shit? People can kick rocks if they don't like it. So, yeah.
Have you had any like people messaging you like being cunts?
Not a single one. I haven't had one bad exchange online. Some old cunt commented something on one video about how all these cliches about Scotland make me sick. Go back to your something like that. I just blocked him. I didn't even respond. I just blocked him. I was like, you know, like when I've had 50,000 comments in the last 20 videos and every single one except that cunt's been positive, I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking get into it. Like, just it's quite liberating actually, because when you block someone, they can just never see your stuff again. They can't find you. Your videos are never going to come up. Nothing. So it's like, great,
blocking someone is a nice feeling when you just go, nah.
It's a power move, mate. It's like getting your cock out in public. It's a power move.
I wouldn't advise you do that though. I think blocking is empowering. I think getting your cock out in public, I'd say get your cock out in private. Hey, who would I be to stop you doing that? I think that's empowering. Getting your cock out in public can get you into some areas you don't want to be in.
It wouldn't be my style, put it that way. The old hog in a public setting. But some people like to put their piece in a tiramisu.
Yeah, happens.
And some people only eat tiramisu out and about.
Mate, I've got a yarn for you.
Spin it, big fella.
I'm not sure. I can't probably name any names in this. I'll have to keep their names out of it. But I was thinking, could I tell this story? I'm like, nah, fuck it. I'll tell it anyway. We can cut this bit out if it's whatever. In 2023, do you remember I went to Europe for like 3 months in 2023?
Yeah, try not to need to cut anything out because the video and the audio are linked. But yeah, I do remember you went to Europe.
No, we should be fine. For 2 weeks of that, about 6 weeks into being there, I think, myself, Skip, Bert, and Liam Danoon went on Kentucky in Portugal for 2 weeks. And while we were there, most of our Kentucky group were made up of like some Americans, a few Canadians, like one strange Australian bloke, and like a smattering of Europeans. Actually, not really many Europeans, but anyway, point being, there wasn't really any like other groups of Australians, except until the second day when a group of three Aussies rocked up. One of them was a guy. One of them and two of them were girls, right? They were from the Shire. One of them was his girlfriend, and one of them we couldn't work out for the first like 3 days which one was his girlfriend, because they all looked exactly the same, and they were real kind of like throuple sort of energy. But one was his girlfriend and one was the girlfriend's like best friend, and the guy and girl had dated for like 10 years. So since they were like 15, because they were like 25. Like a year later, I reckon I saw this guy I bumped into him at the AFL, and I saw that he wasn't with the girl that he was with on Kentucky anymore, because I'd posted on her Instagram story that she was also at the game, but on the other side of the stadium. So I figured that they'd broken up. And
you're
now
just disappearing. You're just disappearing a tiny bit game wise, mate. Just so you know. It's just like speak a little bit more into the mic. Yeah.
Right. Cut to about a week ago, Jack. We see that this guy that was on our Kentucky started posting photos online with the with the friend of the girlfriend that he was with when we were with him. And we've looked into it, and he is now dating her. The other girl he was with, who was the best friend of his girlfriend he'd been with for like 10 years, and that were like, you know, kind of like an inseparable trio. And he's now going overseas with her.
Well, be wary, whoever the third person going overseas with them, because you're going to find yourself in a relationship very soon, judging by patterns. Was there any crossover, TK? Do you know?
Oh, I mean, we want to investigate. We want to try and message this guy and get into it, but it's not really this kind of thing you can bring up. But it's truly bizarre. Like, we've been sending it to other people who were on our Kentucky group in different countries, being like, "What the fuck? That's crazy!" Like, wasn't he dating the other one when he was with them? It's just like it feels like, I don't know, just such a TV show storyline.
Yeah, it's a bit like didn't Fleetwood Mac do a little bit of crossover stuff?
I think they did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there were two of them were married, and then like there were two couples, and then they like flipped or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah. Couples flipped?
I think so. Yeah. Yes. And can I tell you something else? Stevie Nicks was married to 3 different blokes who were all in Fleetwood Mac.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Pretty certain. Let's look that up, because I don't want to come across as if I'm slut shaming Stevie Nicks. And shout the fuck out to her, by the way, one of the goats. But I'm pretty certain she's had 3 husbands. So she's
I'm not
had
sure
4
if it's
husbands.
slut shaming as much as you just pointing out that it's pretty wild behavior.
Okay. So she's had 4 husbands. Lindsey Buckingham is an American musician.
Yeah.
Lindsey Buckingham was in Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, Lindsey Buckingham's Fleetwood Mac.
Don Henley. Oh, no, I know what it is, TK.
No, Don Henley's the Eagles, isn't he?
No. You ready? It's weirder than what I said before, because I remember what it is now. I saw it when Charlie was getting a tattoo one day, and I went with him, and I was just watching his Fleetwood Mac documentary on the telly in the tattoo parlor. She's been married. So Stevie Nicks has been married 4 times. 2 of the times to members of Fleetwood Mac, and 2 of the times to members of the Eagles.
Oh, my God. So that's crazy. She's just made things extremely awkward for 2 different bands.
She's gone Lindsey Buckingham from Fleetwood Mac, then Don Henley from the Eagles, then Mick Fleetwood from Fleetwood Mac, then Joe Walsh from the Eagles. She wrapped the marriage side of her life, her marriage era, up in 1986. Stevie's still kicking. Born 1948 to this day, currently she's 78 years of age, TK, in 2026. So she hasn't been married for 40 years, but between 72 and 86 was married 4 times to 4 different men from 2 different bands. Now, Stevie...
That's an incredibly impressive run there.
Oh, mate, it's
generational.
It's a generational run from Stevie. She said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll be married to singers from platinum level bands, so from musicians to members of platinum level bands, and I'm going to keep it pretty narrow. I'm going to keep it pretty focused. Okay? It's going to be Fleetwood Mac, who are obviously a British American band, right? And it's going to be the Eagles. That's it. That's the game I'm playing. It's a little bit like Jordan playing basketball and baseball, but she was equally good at both, playing and being married to people from the Eagles and from Fleetwood Mac.
When she went, so she'd been married to the first. So she went Fleetwood Mac, Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, Eagles. By the time she got to that second Fleetwood Mac, the members of the Eagles must have been going, "Do you reckon she's coming back here? Do you reckon we're in for another round?" Because the pattern's going that way.
There's a party at Stevie's. Well, what did the members of Fleetwood Mac think when she finally cut ties with old Joe Walsh from the Eagles? Did they go
thinking, are they coming back?
Well, are they looking around going, who the fuck's left?
Yeah.
And I think Fleetwood Mac are pretty big band. I don't know if Neil Finn of Split Enz fame thought he was any chance of getting a Guernsey, because I believe Neil, I think he might have done a brief He did. He was in Fleetwood Mac from 2018 to 2022.
Yeah, it was a recent stint.
It was a recent stint, and it was a brief
But a stint no less.
A stint nonetheless. And if we're going off patterns, the Eagles were the last to get a Guernsey. So Neil Mullane
even though it was 40 years ago.
Even though it was 40 years ago, Neil Mullane Finn could have been thinking, could this be yet another punch above your weight win for the tiny island nation that is New Zealand? Okay, it's 3 Rugby World Cups, all right? It's a population of 5 million and an outstanding resume of mince and cheese pies. Could I also pull off one of the great coups in music romance history and bring Stevie out of a romantic retirement? And I want to be quite clear. I want to be quite clear to anyone listening to this. We are absolutely not distilling down the immense talent that is Stevie Nicks to her marital past. She is one of the great songwriter front women vocalists of all time. But we can't walk past a pattern like this in the street and not say, eyebrows raised. Is there a chance that is there something that needs to be looked at here? And are the members of Fleetwood Mac aware that the conveyor belt, they're next off. They're the next cab off the rank, TK, to use the cab rank theory.
As it happens, Neil hasn't. He's had no offers from Stevie as of yet, and in fact, I don't think he's in the band anymore. So I think. Well,
what would be telling, TK, was if she did marry someone from Fleetwood Mac and Neil went, you know what? I'm joining the Eagles. He went, because when this thing breaks down, you're going to be looking. And old Joe Walsh, all right, you tried, and he wasn't quite hitting the right notes.
So yeah, that's very similar to the situation from Mike and Tiki Group. Yes,
it's almost word for word.
It's almost exactly the same.
Are we sure we've seen that guy and Stevie Nicks in the same room together?
I should have given that guy a fake name to make the story better because I couldn't say his actual name. I think that would have been a bridge too far. But
I got a good one for you.
Oh yeah, go on.
Stevie Nicks.
Oh, this has been a very dumb pod.
It has, mate. And as we're just under the hour mark, perhaps we should wrap this bitch.
Yeah, I think we should. I don't think there's any more.
Oh my God,
to be done.
It's 20-1 in the AM. A young Jack must now away. TK, it's been wonderful to chat to you, mate. Please, listeners, get back onto your commenting. Send us in your messages. TK is going to be on that Instagram jam. He's on the TikTok comments. He's doing all that. He's all about engagement.
Oh, Jack.
So yes,
just
mate.
Before we wrap it, sorry, I forgot to mention we got one message. Hamish Malone messaged me off the back of and this is just a little one for the St. Pat's listeners, but he messaged me and said that because from our shout out last week, the Founders Day concert, they don't do it anymore.
What the fuck is that about? I think we need to probably address this at another time because it's such an outrage. It's something that I think
we've got a big rant in us for that one, but
we do, and I don't think that at 20-1 in the AM it is the right time for me to really unload. Sorry to use the word unload.
We'll get to that though. It's rough.
We'll get to it. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks Hamish for your contact, mate. It's great to hear from you. Hope you're well. And I am going to nip off here and either unload or, I don't know, chat to Priyanka.